Hello and welcome back to another housing video for Final Fantasy XIV with me, Meoni, and today we're looking at two items in particular. I thought we'd put them both in the same video since they're basically the same kind of dealio, and that is to look at the Carbuncle stuff added in patch 5.41. There are two new items for housing added in the Carbuncle theme. You might be familiar with other things that we've seen also from Kupo of Fortune, including the Carbuncle wardrobe and topiary carbuncles, and the Carbuncle tables, etc. Very old items, but the two new ones actually are the Carbuncle house slippers that says, don't get me wrong, I like carbuncles, I just don't want them on my feet, that's all. A quote there of a bemused arcanist. And the extra stuffed carbuncle, which says, how much more stuffed could this be? The answer is none. None more stuffed. And that's the tooltips for those two items. These are both from Kupo of Fortune, added to the loot list in 5.41. And yeah, they're pretty common rewards, some of them. I've had this pop up a couple of times. So let's go and have a look at what these look like in the house. That's the whole reason behind these videos. Previews are okay, but they do not represent, you know, actually going in and shoving them in the house and looking at them. Even though there's a furnishing preview window, it's not enough sometimes, and yeah, that's the purpose of this video. So the first one then is the Carbuncle house slippers. These are designed to be house slippers that you can place on tabletop surfaces as well as on the floor. So if we put them on the tabletop first, to give you a good idea, I know it's incredibly unlucky in some countries and some traditions to actually have shoes on the table. So hopefully I don't suddenly burst into fire as I do this out of bad luck. But they are, as you would imagine, Carbuncle slippers, which are a housing item. You can get Carbuncle slippers on the Mog Station itself, on the Final Fantasy XIV online store, I should say, not the Mog Station. And yeah, they look pretty identical to these. These are adorable. You can also get these in real life. I actually bought these for an ex of mine in real life. They were made in China, but they are very, very comfortable. Look wonderful. You can get these as well. Yeah, these are nice. Good representation of what you would expect. Very similar to the model that the player uses if you have that item. Yeah, pretty good. As far as I know, unfortunately, these are not dyeable. As you can see on my list, these are not dyeable items. This is all we have displayed here, which means that you are stuck with this particular colour. There isn't any way of changing them to the yellow. So if you prefer topaz, then you're out of luck, unfortunately. They do look really good though on the floor, which is where they are supposed to be, obviously, being a, you know, floor slippers, house slippers, and they look pretty good next to the door. Yeah, one size fits all. I think that's adorable, isn't it? You could have like a little shoe rack and then have little carbuncles next to it. What's not to love? The other item then is the actual extra stuffed carbuncle, which again is a tabletop item. As you can see, you can go on the floor and also on the tabletop. This then, like the stuffed carbuncle, is just a little bit bigger, a bit more stuffed, but you can never have too many stuffed carbuncles, can you? It doesn't matter how many times they add new stuff to the game. Honestly, I don't see how you can not like this. I suppose some people hate carbuncles, but I've not met a single person who's been that way. What's not to love? It is adorable. It's another plushie to collect for your housing areas. It's much bigger than usual. Personally, I hope they do like an extra stuffed one and then an extra stuffed one, just so we can have like mummy and daddy carbuncles, baby carbuncles, and then little miniature ones. That would be amazing. Or one of those Russian dolls where you have a carbuncle within a carbuncle. I would pay probably real money for that, actually. That would be kind of cool. Obviously the same design as everything else. It has the button eyes to note it's actually a stuffed item. You can see the stitching on this, much like the actual in real life Carbuncle plushie, of which I'm a proud owner of, and of course on the minion as well that you can get from that, the Peridot Carbuncle, complete with a stitched bottom there as well, as you can see, which is delightful. Yeah, what is not to love? It is just another carbuncle. I wish I had the other plushies, actually, to show you the size comparison, but I don't have them at the moment to hand. I don't know. This, again, I don't believe is dyeable either. Nope, it's not on my list. So, it is what it is. We don't have a yellow one. Maybe that'll be in another patch at some point. But there we go. Let me know what you think about these items below. I personally would lean towards liking the stuffed carbuncle a little bit more than the house slippers. But for sheer RP, I don't think you can really go wrong with both of these. These are both market tradable, and as far as I know, are pretty cheap on the market board, or at least they are on my server and data center. Hopefully they are on yours as well. These do seem like the consolation prices, as people obviously are going to be plowing through that those Coupe of Fortune tickets to try and get the casual attire, because that's where all of the gil is, or at least it was. Anyway, let me know what you think about these, and I'll see you all next time.